records a podcast basically at starting at 9:03 p.m. on a Wednesday night, to say the least? Who does that shit? Oh wait, that's me. I forgot. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to an episode of Lucas E. Allen 1018 on YouTube and all audio platforms. Lucas E. Allen Show, which is a LimitsCenter podcast, your Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 podcast, obviously. We're into anything, though. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Lucas E. Allen. Also, SayXRS on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. If you're watching today's podcast on YouTube, hit the like button on today's podcast. Hit the subscribe button if you've done so already. Turn the bell for our post notifications up on this channel. And as always, leave me a comment if you think my episode for your Wednesday, February 18th of 2026, to say at least. Watch on Spotify, do the same thing, leave me a comment. And also, a 5-star rating would be very nice as well, to say at least. Shall we get started? Today's podcast, very news-heavy podcast. No reviews. I was going to tune the podcast tomorrow for your Thursday, February 19th of 2026, because AEW Dynamite will have more news to say at least come out today. As I'm trying to hopefully do 7 days this week to all LimitsCenter for all Monday to Sunday. You get the point. But we're going to start with this is just an intro to this podcast, an introduction, obviously. And the topics we're discussing about it. I also uploaded on my second channel, Lucas E. Allen. My reaction was about just an hour ago. I uploaded this. It was up around 8:30 p.m. But my reaction to the 20-year anniversary special of Hannah Montana being confirmed for Disney Plus as of March 24th of 2026. And spoiler alert, you tell by a thumbnail with that upload, I am hyped. I am hyped, to say at least. As always, we discussed that. Then go check out the channel, the second channel, Lucas E. Allen, for that upload, to say at least. As to this channel on YouTube and all audio platforms, Lucas E. Allen Show, let's discuss topics. John Cena. Those original WWE Crown Jewel 2025 plans involve Drew McIntyre. Be discussing that. Also, John Cena, speaking of the devil again, reveals original plans for his 17th World Championship win. Be discussing that. Also, then Big E, who recently retired thanks to his neck injury. Big E says his doctors begged him not to return in the ring after a serious neck injury against Rich Holland, something like that, in a 6-man tag. We'll be discussing that. Also, WWE Clash In Italy to take place May 31st of 2026. We'll be discussing that. Also, AEW officially announces the date for AEW Double or Nothing 2025 in New York City. We're going to be discussing that. And always, probably a big story, and the last part we'll be discussing today's podcast. This is boggles my mind for Tony Khan. Why is he doing this shit? Chris Jericho's AEW contract reportedly frozen following time away from the company. And spoiler alert, I do not like this from Tony Khan whatsoever. So on today's podcast, glad you're joining me. As always, going to say it's your Wednesday podcast at LimitsCenter. For your Wednesday, February 18th of 2026, Lucas E. Allen on YouTube. And all audio platforms, Lucas E. Allen Show. So on today's podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And starting with, you guessed it, John Cena, who now retired from WWE as of December 13th of 2025. John Cena reveals the original WWE Crown Jewel 2025 plans involving Drew McIntyre. John Cena has often spoken about many pivots during his retirement tour in 2025. Obviously, Triple H didn't know what the fuck he was doing, obviously. But WWE Crown Jewel, Cena faced AJ Styles in one final match. Cap of a legendary feud that defined the latter part of Cena's career. Speaking to O'Shea Jackson Jr. and TJ Henderson on No Contest Wrestling, Cena revealed that the original plan called for him to face Drew McIntyre at the event. He says, and I quote, I tried to plan it a year of creative experiences, but you have to be able to pivot. You don't have Rock, you don't have Travis Scott. When we start that bullshit, obviously. We're going to do this and this. AJ was supposed to be Drew. We pivoted. You want to have a feel-good moment because they were listening to data plans. They do. It's real, Cena said. The decision to switch to McIntyre to Styles was influenced by fan reception and internal data. Cena noted that while some moments like a confrontation with Brock Lesnar drew a negative reaction from the audience, yeah, no shit, obviously. Negative might be generous too somehow. A major freaking negative, obviously. That shit really pissed me the fuck off of WrestlePalooza. It really did. You could have Cena face McIntyre then. And didn't have to do the Brock Lesnar match at all. As if we got involved with that shit. Awful. The company was looking forward to the tour. Cena also highlighted his recent interactions with Dominic Mysterio as a highlight of the year. As a highlight of the year, obviously. I do agree with that. He says, "Quote, you have the Brock moment. People are pissed off. Don't shit. You have the AJ Styles movement. Things are great, obviously. You have these 3 appearance run with Dom, which was fun. And then the ring general, me and Gunther, Cena added, to say at least. Now, while I booked like Cena's latter part, I feel like they did almost perfectly minus the Brock shit. Obviously, we'll have also the tap out shit with Gunther. Other than that, later part of Cena's run was pretty good, but it was not part. Obviously, I would have done like the WrestlePalooza, have him face Drew McIntyre then. Then you had McIntyre probably beat Cena. Also, the Cody Rhodes and the Undisputed WWE Championship for Saturday night's main event. For November 1st then, they can do the title change there, not at that one SmackDown in Berlin, Germany, obviously. And then you're going to have Cena face Styles at Crown Jewel. Because obviously it was the right decision to do that there. Then you have Cena face Dom like at the Raw at New York City. In Boston, when he won the Intercontinental Championship. And then also a 6-man tag in New York City. But Gafford I did not like at all, honestly. Didn't care for it at all. Like, some people just loved it. I just don't care for 6-man tags. You obviously know that, obviously, people. Trios matches don't care about them at all. But you just understood the process with that to a point. And you love the Dominic match, Survivor Series, and also the Gunther match, the final part of his match, to say at least. But I don't mind Styles being the one to have AJ Styles and Cena have the match at Crown Jewel. In fact, I feel like that fit perfectly in Crown Jewel with the Australia crowd. That's what I think. That was pretty good if you ask me there. But I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have the Drew McIntyre and John Cena's retirement tour, honestly. I feel like it was definitely a missed opportunity. Definitely WrestlePalooza didn't include Brock Lesnar. That shit was just fucking botched beyond botch can be. Like, I didn't even care for going into it at all. Like, why are you doing this? Who the fuck cares? In the same way as it did 12 years ago. With 11 years, whenever Cena faced with Lesnar at SummerSlam. You guys ass kicked it one final time, like doing his fucking care in a lifetime with that shit. Nobody cared at that, and he didn't care for it. And obviously in 2025. So what was the fucking point of doing that shit at SummerSlam after the Cody Rhodes match? Fucking ridiculous if you ask me. But I feel like there's definitely a missed opportunity not including Drew McIntyre and John Cena in the retirement tour. I just feel like that's the case. Really wish McIntyre at least had one. I mean, the closest thing McIntyre came to Cena was a tag match with Cena and Cody against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre in a fucking SmackDown main event. That's the closest we got to a Drew McIntyre and John Cena match. That to me was definitely a missed opportunity if you ask me. That's my thoughts on this segment for sure if you ask me. Speaking of Cena, he also revealed his original plans for his 17th World Championship victory. It was a clash of generations at SummerSlam 2021 when John Cena challenged Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. Reigns ultimately went over in the bout when Cena was attacked by returning Brock Lesnar. The same thing happened 4 years later in 2025 SummerSlam. As the match concluded, after according to Cena, that was not the original created plan for the evening. Speaking to O'Shea Jackson Jr. and T.J. Henderson, the No Contest Wrestling podcast I just mentioned in the segment before, Cena revealed that he was originally booked to win his record-breaking 17 World Championship that night, obviously, in SummerSlam 2021. But it was what, Allegiant Stadium? It was Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play? Because that was just freaking interesting to say at least. The planned finish would involve a match restart where Reigns would have quickly reclaimed the gold through various means. However, the booking of Brock Lesnar just 2 hours before the show led to a complete overhaul of the main roster main event's conclusion. That ain't even fucking worse when we got the match we got there. Why would Cena want to win the championship and just ultimately drop to minutes later? That sounds fucked up if you ask me, man. That was a major, a pretty big time letdown for a 17-time World Championship run. That might be just as worse we got this year's Wrestling, where he won the 17 championship over 41. WrestleMania 40 against Cody, 41 against Cody Rhodes. That might be just as bad as that this creative pitch was that the creators was in WrestleMania 41. That sounds just fucking stupid beyond belief. He says, and I quote, Cena, in the last moment we had the surprise guest booked. He came out after the match was over. Brock, they did not secure until 5 p.m. that day. I was going to win 17. We were going to have someone come out and restart the match. Roman was going to take it back. Then we secure Brock. Talent Relations comes and says, I need to see you. We're switching to the finish. To what? Roman over clean. Okay, let me know. Let me talk to Roman and Paul, Cena said. Me and Paul Heyman. Cena, knowing that he was fully supportive of the change, emphasizing that the story of Roman Reigns' dominance was more important than his individual accolades. He credited Paul Heyman for understanding the selfless nature of the decision and worked with Reigns to craft a finish that made the Tribal Chief look as strong as possible. I said, one spear, that's it. You only kick out one spear, that was it? Yeah, I didn't realize that shit until now, obviously. I thought he kicked out maybe one spear. Then Brace Roman would have speared him again. He'd seen what it lost, obviously. Whatever match you want to have, that's fine. You beat me with your own one finish once. I love Paul. Paul Heyman has been a great mentor. He gets to recognize somebody who sees it's not about them. It's about the story. This is going to make Roman better. It switched Roman right there. An hour before, it happens to everyone. I didn't flip out. It happens all the time. I was supposed to win 17 that night, Cena added. Which I don't blame him if he's not been fine with that. It was a decision, win 17, just also he dropped back to Roman. It sounds fucking stupid. They didn't really wait with the pay-per-view after SummerSlam. I don't remember what that was. Maybe it was Payback, maybe? However, here you can call it. It was at 2020. It was 2020, honestly. The week after was completely Payback. Which was stupid, obviously. But still. That just sounds even more stupid. Probably Cena didn't want to win the championship at all that night. I could probably think of that. He went to drive right back to Roman, minutes later. That just sounds stupid. It sounds worse when we got WrestleMania 41, honestly. That sounds even more dumb. Maybe I should praise the 41 main event after all. No, I'm still not going to place that to debacle with Travis Scott and The Rock. No, fuck that. What am I even talking about? But those are my thoughts on this, for sure to say the least. I just don't like that decision. Having basically John Cena basically win a championship, ultimately drops out back to Roman. The plus Roman had to rewind his championship reign. He held the championship a year at that point almost. And then he just dropped it till a year later at Cena and then just get back minutes later. It just sounds stupid. Sounds like a classic Vince McMahon move, though, if you ask me, though, to say at least. Those are my thoughts on this situation, for sure. It's this segment, for sure, if you ask me. Moving on to the recently retired Big E. Says his doctors begged him not to return to the ring after his serious neck injury, courtesy of Ridge Holland. Nearly 4 years ago, after suffering a fractured neck injury, Big E's decision to retire in in-ring competition was heavily influenced and supported by his medical team. While he is able to live a normal life, his neck is not forming new bone in a manner required for safe competition, making any potential return a significant risk. While speaking to SportsIllustrated.com, Big E recalled to a specific conversation with his doctor, Dr. Huang Yubri, I think that's how you say his name, who urged him to reconsider wrestling even if he were technically cleared. Big E officially confirmed his retirement earlier this month, knowing that he is content with his decision and he has moved his focus to other projects. He is thankful for the pain-free existence, realizing that the situation is much different than many veterans as he sees around WrestleMania who struggle with mortality, and daily pain. He says, and I quote, you see how many veterans, the legends around WrestleMania oftentimes That's when you see a lot of the guys who you don't see or hear around. And man, it's so sobering. Biggie said. So many of them who aren't even that old are struggling with pain. Clearly not very ambulatory. They're using walkers to get around. And man, I told myself, as much as I love my career, as much as I love being an athlete, I'm really gambling with my health, end quote. Which is definitely fair to say. And that man suffered a tragic neck injury against Ridge Holland. Granted, I'm not blaming Ridge Holland. He was not the greatest pro wrestler. He was tempted like a male version of Nia Jax at some points. I'm not like saying he's like a worse than Nia Jax, no. So like, shit happens, man. But it's not the first time that Ridge actually hurt somebody. He even heard of Johnny Gargano at one point at an NXT event, to say the least. Like, the guy just couldn't stay, basically injury-driven free. The guy just was not that great, even a pro wrestler at all. Which is why he's gone from the company. And the situation he had with himself with WWE was a completely different story, obviously. But then, honestly, I wish Biggie all the best. I wish he was one of my favorites personally in all professional wrestling. And it sucks he couldn't finish off the way he wanted to finish off wrestling. Obviously, it's just shit happens, man. Shit definitely happens, man. It sucks to see that for Big E. I wish him all the best in his future, to say the least. What you do, but you think he just does pre-shows for WPLEs and stuff like that? So he does stuff with that. He can be a pretty good broadcaster one day. I feel like he can be a good broadcaster for sure. Waiting to find out then to say the least. Keep up to what Big E does in the future if you ask me to say the least. Moving on to your final piece of WWE news on this podcast. For the day, obviously. WWE Clash in Italy 2026 to take place May 31st, last day of May, and 2026 this year. WWE yesterday announced that the first ever premium live event to be held in Italy. Clash in Italy, obviously, will emanate from the, I'm going to butcher this name, Alfi Arena in Turin, Italy, I think, on Sunday, May 31st of 2026. This landmark event will form part of a WWE European Summer Tour, which will see WWE superstars visit cities across Italy, Spain, France, and Portugal, and the United Kingdom. There you go. Sounds pretty interesting, man. Probably early start times at Raw and SmackDown, obviously. Can't complain about that, honestly. Additionally, Monday Raw will also emanate from the Turin's Infali Arena on Monday, June 1st, before broadcasting live from Paris. Paris is a core arena the following week on Monday, June 8th. And London's O2 Arena on Monday, June 22nd. Hey, what about June 2015, man? No, nothing. I don't blame you. Friday Night SmackDown will return to Barcelona, Spain on Friday, May 29th for an Olympic Arena Bandolina, before the being broadcast once again for the Alfi Arena in Bologna, Italy on Friday, June 5th. I actually like this. Italy, for first PLE in a Clash in Italy, man. Sounds interesting. One of this crowd's going to see him like that, honestly. It'd be interesting to say the least. Should be fun if you ask me. I'm looking forward to make the more international shows if you ask me, just at PLEs and stuff like that, and not big crowds like that. Should be fun if you ask me. May 31st. I do hate this, though, for a little bit. As to take place the same month as Backlash, which was happening in Tampa. Like, that is just stupid. 2 premium live events in 1 month? I think that's a little overkill. I know there's one technically in June. It would be probably this one. It would Clash in Italy and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe another pay-per-view PLE in June. God, please don't I don't want to ever think that. But still, probably be the case. Like, what the fuck? What, another Saudi show with a Queen, King, and Queen away? Whatever, bro. It is what it is. Keep up there when Clash in Italy looks like, which obviously you can finish off when you get to WrestleMania season, obviously, first. We keep it updated on Clash in Italy to say the least as well. Speaking of PLEs / pay-per-views, we count AEW here. AEW officially announced its date for Double or Nothing 2025 in New York City, like a couple podcasts ago. AEW is officially bringing Double or Nothing 2026 to New York City. The New York Post announced today that the signature event will be held at the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York on Sunday, May 24th. The event falls on the Sunday on Memorial Day weekend, obviously. Maintaining the pay-per-view tradition since its debut in 2019 is AEW's inaugural show. Well, if it's an inaugural show, if you ask me, but don't if you don't count all in, like, was it 2018 stuff like that? Well, this is still probably not the more to say at least about that, but this is probably the first like established show, obviously, Double or Nothing. But still, I love this. Being first Double or Nothing, being in New York City, is hopefully get out of Las Vegas, Nevada shit. Like, my God, man, all this, like, every time, minus the COVID years, when 2020, 2021, even 2022 to a point, they're just taking place non-stop freaking Las Vegas. Minus the two years of the COVID, 2020 and also 2021. That's so stupid, man, but I love this decision. Having Double or Nothing take place in New York City and obviously stuff like that should be a fun crowd, too. New York crowds tend to be something, to say the least, man. So keep up update when AEW Double or Nothing comes around, but pay-per-view after Dynasty is just good before a Revolution. You keep up updating that going forward if you ask me. Double or Nothing in 2026 if you ask me. And finally, everyone, for your LimitsCenter podcast for your Wednesday, February 18th of 2026. Chris Jericho, the big news story of today. Chris Jericho's AEW contract reportedly frozen following time away from the company. And I absolutely hate this move from Tony Khan. Just petty shit, if you ask me. It's Triple H or Tony Khan. Both promoters are fucking petty, just like even Vince McMahon was. Chris Jericho's AEW contract may be frozen, according to a new report from FightfulSelect.com on Tuesday, February 17th of 2026. Both those around Jericho and AEW are under the belief that the promotion froze his contract if he took time off earlier last year. Jericho's deal was originally expected to expire at the end of 2025. He remains on an official AEW roster page suggesting that he's still under contract with the company. FightfulSelect.com has reportedly asked AEW multiple source times in the official capacity if Jericho had left the company, but he has yet to receive a response. Jericho's profile is still listed on AEW roster page, obviously a website, and no other internal memo has been released regarding his departure, which is standard practice for an organization when talent exited from the companies. AEW is to be exact. Jericho's future has been a topic of speculation, obviously, even though we're in denial, particularly after reports surfaced in November 2025 that WWE had made an offer for a retirement storyline, probably with Gunther, obviously. The following month, Jericho indicated that he was pretty sure he would be wrestling somewhere in 2026. Despite the interest from WWE, FightfulSelect.com noted that Jericho was not factored into his plans for the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia or the Raw and Netflix anniversary show earlier this year due to his ongoing status with AEW. Now, I hate this move from Tony Khan. Why are you doing this? It's not like I know Jericho's a top name in AEW history. Don't get it twisted. He's the first ever AEW World Champion, obviously, the first ever AEW World Champion in that company. I get that. But why would you be so freaking petty to freeze this man's contract? All because you have a freaking ego to possess, Tony. Like, seriously, why? I hate when people freeze their contracts for no stupid reasons. Oh, he left the company, it says so-and-so date. Like, I hate that shit when it's Vince McMahon doing this, or Triple H doing this, and it's been Tony Khan doing this. It's just stupid. Why would you freeze somebody's contract because you want them to stay for no fucking reason, rhyme, or whatever? It's not going to give this man, like, anything in AEW anyways. You're too busy pushing guys like Kenny Omega, and it's just pretty good, if you ask me. Like, you're pushing better talent than Jericho right now. And that's great. I like that, honestly. I was not the biggest Jericho fan just maybe the last couple years and stuff like that. This learning tree shit, and just even before learning tree shit too. That was his icing on the cake, obviously. But I hate this move. Why would you want to be a disgruntled man? Have to be disgruntled, probably in your life. Unless he'd be disgruntled. I'm sure he's a big fan of Tony Khan. But it's just petty shit, man. It's just petty shit like this really pisses me off. Well, it's not just Tony Khan does this, Triple H probably does this, and obviously Vince McMahon doing thinking too about doing this too. It's just stupid freaking bullshit if you ask me. But Jericho probably will be in WWE eventually in 2026, probably longer than we would have thought. And no, that's, by the way, that mystery box we saw on Raw, I didn't discuss in the Raw review yesterday, the podcast yesterday for December. For February 17th of 2026, LimitsCenter, go check that out. I discussed the Raw review. I forgot to mention with the mystery box scene will be revealed at the Elimination Chamber 2026. So February 28th of 2026 to be revealed. And probably, I don't know who it'll be if it's not Jericho. I originally really thought it was Jericho. It could be Seth Rollins, a mystery attacker of the Vision, and stuff like that. But who cares about that? Honestly, I know I freaking don't. But whatever, man. It is what it is. There's more petty bullshit from Tony Khan, man. And the reason why you get shit on Tony's with bullshit like this, too. That's another reason why. I'm probably shitting you right now because it's the right decision to shit on you. Because why would you do this something stupidity like this? Just let Jericho go to WWE. Get over it. Why you gotta be this fucking petty, Tony? I just don't understand this bullshit, but it is what it is, to say the least. And that is your LimitsCenter podcast, your Wednesday, February 18th of 2026. Thank y'all for watching LimitsCenter of us, your LimitsCenter podcast, your Wednesday, February 18th of 2026. On YouTube, you can see on 1018. And all audio platforms, you can see on show. And catch y'all for hopefully, knock on wood. I like to make a hop step there with that knock on wood shit. Which obviously more content related to the episode of LimitsCenter for your Thursday, February 19th of 2026. Just all your latest news throughout the day, and also your AEW Dynamite November, Jesus. February 18th, 2026 review. Probably have more content on the second channel, also as well. You can see out to say the least. Until next time, trust me next time, peace, love. Alright, I am out here. Love y'all big time to say the least.